Hello everyone, Caren Glasser here, and welcome to today's episode of Connecting People, Changing Lives, and I'm here with my amazing cohort and co-host, Nancy Ferrari. Good morning, Nancy. How are you today?
Good morning. I'm doing well, I think. Well, happy to say fall is here. Officially, everyone knows California and how hot it's been, and I've got a nice warm sweater on. Happy, happy, happy. And I'm even more happy to have just a woman who I adore, and I've got to know, she's my go-to woman with what the heck is going on up above. And we were talking before we went on air that there definitely are influences, not only with the planets, astronomy, the cosmos, whatever. And Louise is going to help shed some light on that. But before we do, Louise Edington is the founder of Your Cosmic Blueprint. She's an astrologer, a transformational change agent, and no, she's an evolutionary astrologer, healer, teacher, and writer, and she helps women navigate major times of change. Hello, and personal transformation with deep empathy, English wit, which we love, and a battery of eclectic skills earned through many years of study and practice. Louise works with a unique cosmic blueprint to help wise women find their lost wild woman, and sacred sound, the voice. And that's what we're all about, letting our voice be heard. And with that said, I warmly welcome you, Louise Edington, to Connecting People, Changing Lives. Good morning.
Good morning, Nancy. Thank you very much, both of you, and Caren, for having me on.
Oh, well, we are so excited, and I know we already actually started the conversation before the show started, because both Nancy and I said to you, Louise, before the show, what the heck is going on? Because it's like we cannot get focused, things are shifting, so can we just jump right in?
Sure.
Stay grounded while you do it, Caren.
What's going on out there? Why are we feeling this shift? I mean, in many different ways. What's going on?
Well, I'm not going to give all the technicals, but we've been in this major time of transformation over the last 3 or 4 years, really. It kind of, yes, actually. And this week we're kind of reaching another culmination, because of course everything's a process. We're actually having 2 points of fate or destiny happen this week. And there are going to be some big radical shifts and things culminating on Sunday. And so everybody's kind of feeling a little all over the place. Plus we're in Scorpio, which is often a struggle for people because it goes very deep, and a lot of deep stuff comes up to deal with and to be released and sorted out.
Well, I thought I've released as much as I can.
I know.
But I wanted to ask you, so you said it's the Scorpio thing, but so Nancy and I are both Sagittarians, right? Nancy, we're both Sagittarians.
Right.
I'm so
apart.
Oh, we're all Sagittarians. So how did...
Oh, my. And I'm married to a Scorpio.
So how does that play, what our own astrological sign is? Does that play into this or not really?
It does a little, but it's more to do with your whole chart and where the energy is in your own birth chart. It's too general. I don't really like just sun sign astrology. Of course, it's very important, a part of it. And all those Sagittarians have Saturn going through Sagittarius for the next 2 years, which is a time of where we can feel a little bit squashed and held down, if you like, but it's also a real time to build our big vision. So
that's awesome. Now, obviously, we jumped right into astrology.
Yes.
So let's talk a little bit why astrology is one of the tools in your toolkit.
Well, I started off doing astrological readings alone, and they're really unsatisfactory because they go very, very deep, especially with the type of astrology I do, and people afterwards are going, oh, well, what the heck do I do with all this information? Or they never listen to it again. They never change anything in their lives. So I use a lot of other tools working with people. I've had a lot of coach training and experience as both a marketing coach and a life coach, and I use law of attraction. I do work with the artist's way, all the stuff in that, and I always
Really?
wow. Yes, yeah, you missed that. And I always put kind of an astrological bent on it, because a lot of these things are in 12s, like the astrology is in the 12s, 12 houses, 12 signs, 12s, and 12 months in the year. So I just integrate everything to work with people, because I find that's more transformational.
Yes, I love what you do, because you do personalize it for your clients, and even within your groups that you have forming or have formed and are shifting. And you are an example too of I have, in the short time I've known you, you are blossoming. Number one, you look just gorgeous today. I love the color, the pop. It's mirroring what's happening inside. You're stepping out in a big way, and I love it when I know people and I'm watching their transformation, because I know what that feels like. And right now I'm just I'm doing my best to stay grounded. And if it's too much, this is, I think, a danger zone during this time, and correct me if I'm wrong, that when we get bombarded with too much, then we almost can just want to just shut down.
Oh, completely. Or escape, I would call it escape, with the energies we've got now. There's a lot of energy of escapism with whatever kind of your escapism is, whether it's TV, shopping, alcohol, Facebook, whatever your big distraction is, there's the temptation to go and escape into that at the moment, because it's quite intense.
And what timing with the holidays coming.
I know.
Truly, truly. So, Louise, where are we now energetically? I mean, where are we right now? Where are we heading? Where do the cycles, what are the important cycles that we should be taking a look at? And answer it only in 2 words, okay? I'm kidding.
Well, I think I've mentioned it on many of my broadcast things, but we are now in this new astrological age, and we're kind of the leaders bringing it into that age, and that's the age of Aquarius. And the age of Aquarius is, we're seeing it happening. It's more about tribes and social justice and equality. But of course, there's big resistance also. But if you look for the good, you'll see it starting to happen. I shared on my video yesterday that I actually even shared on Facebook a maiden speech by a Republican senator from Nebraska, and he was just kind of ripping the Senate apart here in this country for not doing their job and not working in collaboration and all this. This is the kind of energy we're moving into, and so we're starting to see it coming in everywhere.
Thank goodness.
Yes.
I know.
Yes.
It's totally necessary. It's totally necessary. So what is the evolution of the soul? What does that mean?
Okay, well, when we're born, we have this blueprint that we come in with, and I believe that we choose that time, that place, those parents, that family, and then everything. So we have this blueprint, and then as you grow and as you get older, the planets where they are now kind of trigger parts on your natal chart, and they trigger evolution. And we have certain paths. Our soul is here to learn, certain lessons to learn, certain purpose to fulfill, before we move on into another lifetime, because I do believe in reincarnation. And I see it as kind of a spiral of expansion. I've seen it the other way, a spiral of enlightenment, but I actually see it as an expansion, because as we grow, our consciousness expands and we become more fully us.
That's a great visual, actually. I mean, I can see that as it gets bigger and bigger and bigger as it goes out. That's a great way to visualize it. So really, thank you for that. Why? I mean, I know people go and talk to people and get a reading done, right? And you have a reading done, and I know you have some thoughts on that. Why just a single reading is not necessarily the way to go.
Well, there are many forms of astrology for a start, and I don't do the kind of astrology that says you're going to get married or you're going to move house or you're going to, if you, a client the other day told me that she had had a reading back in time and they said if you get married before 35, you'll get divorced.
What a nice prep.
Who makes this stuff up? I mean, really, that's where I would say, is it personally speaking, because and I'm the first one to say I'm not that, and I don't say this negatively, I'm not really a woo-woo kind of person. But when I hear that, that just kind of validates why I feel the way I feel, because come on, really?
So my approach is more about helping people to understand their soul and how they work and what works best for them and how to develop that in the most positive way so that they have a happier and more fulfilled life, basically, or so that they're more fulfilled in their business. You know, it kind of covers everything. Because it all shows up in the chart, and some people just need a little bit of guidance and a bit of help. It's kind of like going to a therapist, but I wouldn't never call myself a therapist because I'm not I'm not trained as a therapist. But,
I like the word guide because that's something that's I know in the work that I do, that's how I refer to myself. I'm not here to really. The word coach seems to be kind of diminishing.
I know.
I mean, like, there again, it's almost like going back to the beginning because people can relate to a sports coach or this in that realm, but really to be there and you have that exchange. You're probably connecting with your clients. And the questions they have, but I've found inevitably they want to know their future, but it's the present that is so important.
Exactly.
And people don't want to be in the present moment. They want to see it right. But guess what? And that's what I feel all of this expansion is calling us forth to go inward.
Sorry. And I call myself a truth guide also because I'm very, very honest with people. I say what I see, but in a very kind way, you know. I'm not brutal, but I don't speak BS, you know. It's I won't take it either. I will tell people what I see and what I think they believe they need and to guide them. But and what else did you say, Nancy? After the guide?
I don't know.
I can't remember. Sorry, I was going to say something else.
Maybe I'll say something else. In the fact that not only what you share, and it's coming from other people that I have a respect for what they're sharing. This is a time of truth, and that is when Caren's referring to the soul. That is your pure truth, and once you can get into that place of understanding, that's when the flow starts to go.
Yeah.
You have that guidance system going for your future. We have our will to do what we will with it.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's what all my work's about. I was going to say about my work with the moon, you know, the new and full moons, and helping people to tune into the cycles and the bigger astrological cycles too. So it's not only just looking at their birth chart, it's about working with the energies at all times.
Well, we do have a new moon coming next week.
Yeah, we do. And
yes, so and I've been tossing them, my family's just going, but they are becoming more aware, especially my 6-year-old granddaughter. Puts her crystals out, and she's learning what she can at this age. But share with our viewers more about that and how they can be connected and what kind of energy they can expect to receive.
Well, I'm not going to go into the full details of the next moon, but I do have a free call next Monday if anybody would like to join me, and the details are in my group, which I think you're going to link to. Louise Edington's, it's a Facebook group, Louise Edington's Cosmic Connections, and I do a new moon call and a meditation to help people tune in, and I give them some guidance. And a new moon is really about setting intentions for the new moon lunar cycle and for the next 6 months ahead till the next full moon in that same sign. So we have a Scorpio new moon coming up next week on the 11th, and then there'll be a Scorpio full moon in 6 months' time. So we have 2 cycles there, the 28 days and the 6 months. So.
Well, I always learn something new from you because I didn't know that. I'm always looking up at the moon. Okay, it's waxing or it's waning or it's I'm learning a lot. It's a lot to learn, but you do provide it in a nice, I almost say compartments, so it's just not this big whoosh of too much. But yes, I do highly recommend the viewers to connect with you on Facebook, because you've already posted that event for next week.
Yeah, and it will be in the run sheets. So as soon as this thing gets pushed out and published, you guys can just click on the link. You can join the group. It's a private group, and you'll be able then to access all the amazing resources that Louise offers in that group.
Yeah.
So.
Yes, and you're getting more visible too with being on Periscope and videos. There's no reason why people cannot connect with you and learn from you. But
I'm everywhere.
Well, my notes that I took notes from you yesterday, and I love this because I know it to be true, is that the shift from me to we. Yeah. It's about time, right?
Oh, it really is. Yes, for sure. And it's all to do with the patriarchy dying and all that kind of stuff, but I won't. That's a big subject to go into.
Yeah, I was going to say that's kind of a huge subject, which leads me to Lilith.
I know, Caren and I share this Lilith thing.
Yeah, so let's talk a little bit about Lilith. And from my perspective, because my background is Judaism. I'm a clergy woman, and we talk about the first women, Adam and Eve. Well, Adam's not the woman, Eve is, and then people don't know about Lilith. I mean, in the I don't mean all people, and it's a very general statement, but Lilith. Oh, look at your cat is literally sitting behind you on the chair.
I know.
I love it.
Who is Lilith? Who is Lilith? Let's talk a little bit about Lilith and other asteroid goddesses. Okay.
Well, in the Hebrew myth, as you know, she was the first wife of Adam, and they were created equally. And I've read a few versions of it, but but Adam wanted her to submit to him, like the patriarchy, women submitting to men, and she either left in a rage or was thrown out of Eden, and then angels went to bring her back, and she wouldn't go back, so her children were all killed, and then she became very vengeful in the myth, as we say. Would you agree?
Well, yes, and what's interesting is that she's not mentioned in the Torah in terms of, she's not there. She's just not there. It's like she totally was erased from the Testament. I mean, which is just so interesting to me. Yeah. We've had other characters or other female figures that have done basically the same thing in the Purim story with Haman and Esther. There's a woman in there, his first wife, Vashti, who basically said, sorry, I'm not submitting to you. I am not going to go dance for you at the party that you're throwing for people. And she also was kicked out. Right. It's interesting. So how does Lilith play in all of this, and how can we use that as part of who we are?
Well, Lilith shows up in the astrological chart, and because of this suppression and just being cast out of Lilith, she has been portrayed astrologically until fairly recently as really the evil part of us. It's where we manipulate, it's where we do all this, and I don't see it like that. And a lot of us, it's not just me, we're not reinventing, we're rediscovering the true Lilith, because she was just created equally. She was just wanted to be equal, to have an equal voice, equal say, and exactly.
It sounds like today, doesn't it?
Yes,
it sounds like today.
It does.
Yes, there's that calling, and we're answering it.
Exactly. And you know, she's being talked about more and more in astrology in the true way. And yes, she did have that angry, vengeful side, and there is a part of that to the astrological Lilith. But boy, she was hurt. she was denied for thousands of years.
So what can we learn from Lilith in this generation now, as we are still fighting for equality, fighting to get paid the same amount, fighting for, I mean, we're seeing, obviously, we have a woman candidate who's running for president, right, again.
Yeah, there's two, actually.
There's two. There's two.
Yeah.
Right, there's two. But yes, you're absolutely right, there is two. And, you know, who knows? This might be the year. So how can we tap into Lilith as women to help us in this generation now?
Well, I call her your inner wild woman. Thanks to one of my mentors, she gave me that phrase. But to me, she's the kind of real passionate part of ourselves within us, the kind of kundalini energy that channeled well is really powerful, and the patriarchy is afraid of that, of course. So that's how we need to step into it, but we need to do that without being inappropriately angry. And no, I don't mean that in the way of, oh, you know, women shouldn't get angry, but just standing in your power and being powerful instead of reacting to the patriarchy. And I will say men have Lilith too, of course. And we're seeing that show up in some of this presidential election too, with, you know, one candidate in particular, who you know I love, kind of coming with the more, coming with the nurturing, more motherly energy, if you like, in bringing that back into politics. And as I said, that also that other Republican guy bringing the more collaborative.
Which 12? Which one of 12?
There's just so many.
No, he's not a presidential candidate. He's just a senator. But it was a great speech. You should look at it on my Facebook wall.
Oh, I saw it. It was great.
Yeah.
And that's what I remember when I talked with you a couple months ago. You said structures are coming apart, and ever since, and maybe it's longer than 2 months ago that we talked about it. And in so many, on a global scale, you know, and I just, I'm more aware of it, and that's a good thing, because it's time for regrowth. We don't need to get so dramatic. I think someone, I don't know where I'm getting all my information, but they said, no, this isn't like the Roman Empire. We're all going to crash, and you know, but it's just it's time with the people, and it's quite evident with this political race. Yeah. People are not taking it. We're just not taking it. Exactly. And as part of the media here, and Caren could probably agree, I was astounded as to you really asked that person that question in that way. What happened to the word respect?
I know.
But I love the way what it did. There's a gift. They banded together. They said, we're not going to be made a mockery of, and this is not a partisan issue that I'm talking about. I'm just talking about humanity.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Let's be respectful to one another.
But come on, ladies. I mean, really. I mean, the respect issue is not just with this election.
No,
I mean,
it's not. It's everywhere.
Regardless of whether you like our president or not, he is the president of the United States, and I am aghast. I mean, literally, at what comes out of people's mouths.
I know.
And they feel that they're allowed, that it's perfectly okay to do this, is to be disrespectful, and regardless of whether you like him or not. I mean, he is the president, and as the president, he is visible around the world, and when we as citizens of the United States act disrespectfully, it doesn't just bode unfortunately poorly on the president, but it also bodes on us as Americans that we speak. And I know that you recently became a citizen, isn't that correct?
I did, on July the 27th.
And I'm sure you have a very unique perspective on this, coming from a different country, coming here to the United States, making the choice to be a citizen. And I'm sure you have a perspective on this that I would love to hear, and I'm sure that our viewers might, and you don't have to go deep into it. I'm just curious, as somebody who made a choice.
Okay. Well, and I did study American history in college as well, so I'm quite knowledgeable about the whole thing. And to me, the country has lost its way,
Yeah.
in lots of respects. And again, that does show up astrologically, actually, in the USA chart, because there is a chart for the USA for the Declaration of Independence, and it's being triggered big time transformationally. But we've really lost our way with this polarization that's going on, and in all areas, not just politically.
Right. No,
everywhere,
I agree.
you know, and it's time to bring it back together.
And we're seeing
Yeah.
that. We're seeing
Yeah.
that there's some movement, and it's this did not happen overnight.
Oh,
So
no.
so the transformational change is not going to happen overnight. But it's nice to see that there is some movement towards being respectful again.
Yeah.
And doing this. It's very troubling to me, quite frankly. It's very troubling.
It is to me. I'm not convinced we'll have the first woman president this time.
And I'm not convinced either. But it's nice to see. It's nice to see that when the both candidates are referred to, the first thing is not that they're women. It has to do with other things, and that is a shift. That is a change.
And we also have to acknowledge that, and I don't know if the number has changed, but 32 came to mind, that there are that many women in political power, if you will, in other countries. We're all on one planet, and how many women are senators and congresswomen, and they're out there. It's just that right now it's who wants the crown.
And look what's happening in Canada.
I know, Trudeau. I know, it's fabulous.
It's awesome. I mean, it's totally awesome, and I'm sure that will rub off a little bit, at least.
And it's kind of happened in the UK as well. There's a guy, Jeremy Corbyn, there, who's been elected to the leader of the opposition party, and his message is very similar to Trudeau's and my favourite candidate here. And it's all changing. But regarding the women in cabinet, I think they felt like they had to be very male-like to be in it before, but that's shifting.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We're running out of time here, and I don't want to. I want to make sure that our viewers, whenever you're watching this show, that you look down at the run sheet, because you're going to be able to find Louise at yourcosmicblueprint.com, and you're going to be able to sign up for her Cosmic Transitions report and also her newly created Guide to Finding Your Lost Wild Woman. Right? That's very fun. And we also mentioned your Facebook group as well, and that link will be there. If you go to Facebook right now, you can just type in Cosmic Connections in the search, and the group will come up, and I really encourage you to go do that. Louise, any last thoughts that you'd like to share with? I can't believe how fast this time went.
I wish we had an hour.
Well, you know what? We'll do this again. We absolutely. I would love to check in with you.
We'll have you with the moon cycles.
Right, absolutely.
Well, my last thoughts are just really pay attention to what's going on energetically, because that's part of tuning into the astrology. It's more than knowing about the maths and this aspect and this sign. It's also very energetic, and at least that's how I work. So if you don't want to actually join me, but my free group, why wouldn't you? Then at least try to feel the energies at least, and spend some time out under the full moon, feeling the energy of it, and that kind of and staring at the stars. Just tune in, because they do. We're all connected. It's all connected.
We are. That string thing. That string theory. Yeah. We are definitely all connected. And why would they not want to join your group?
I know.
It is. I hate the word free. It is complimentary, and it does not cost anything.
No.
And so you need to be able to step into that and say, okay, I'm going to go check this out. Right? Go check.
Yeah, so, you're free to leave if it's not for you.
Absolutely. Nancy, any last thoughts you want to share with our audience before we say, see you later?
I have just thoroughly enjoyed our conversation this morning, and especially at this time period, we refer to it, and the holidays are coming. We're feeling energetic pulls. It's just a whole lot. You provide that space so that we don't feel like we're just a me and I don't say that disrespectfully, that, you know, because it all starts with us, but we need that support. We need each other, and you provide that forum for us to become a we, the collective, and we could have talked about that as well next time. But
Yes.
collective is and I've been using that more often. Thank you to you, because people get it.
Yeah.
There is an awakening going on, and
Really
I love seeing it, because we all want to be the best that we can be in this lifetime. So thank you so much, and I appreciate the viewers for tuning in and learning more about you, and highly recommend that they connect with you.
Thank you both. Thank you both of you.
Absolutely. And we want to thank our viewers, because we know that you have a choice as to where you spend your time, and we want to thank you for spending time with us today. And if you're curious as to how you can launch your own web TV show, we have a great program going on, so make sure you click the link down below there and just check it out. Nancy and I actually can show you how to do something like we're doing right now, right here. So we encourage you to check it out. And as always, go out and have a great day today, and we will see you next week on the next episode of Connecting People, Changing Lives. Goodbye, everyone.